Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Captain Foley, and today we're going to be taking a look at some more Star Trek weird merchandise from the 70s, 60s, 80s. This is part 2. I've done a part 1 already, which you guys can check out on my Captain Foley personal channel, so please check that out if you haven't seen it already. But we're going to talk about some weird stuff today, and first up is this. This is the Star Trek Command Communications console. Battery's not included, but you need one 9-volt transistor radio battery. Multicolor phaser screen. Interesting. Telescoping antenna. Morse code indicator. Sends and receives Morse code signals. Star Trek twin warp sounds. Sends and receives official warp drive sounds. So just that sound that like the original Millennium Falcon made and the South Bend Enterprise makes probably. But transmits voice and sound. You can see it with the screen taken off, and you can see some colored lights back there that move up and down. Again, it does look very 60s. It does look very Star Trek-y, so that's kind of cool. There it is with the instructions. It is made by Mego, so there you go. You see it with some of the lights on in the background there, doing its thing. But on the box here, it's interesting. It says at the side it says sends or receives with the Star Trek communicators. So this works in conjunction with the communicators that we talked about last time, or most other standard walkie-talkies. So it's basically just a desktop-based walkie-talkie. There it is with the packaging and the instructions. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of these. These are kind of cool. But just being a walkie-talkie, I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, next up is the Ertl line of toys. You've got the Enterprise. You got the Klingon Bird of Prey. And Ertl also made a few years earlier for Star Trek 3. They made some of these figures and ships as well, which I managed to actually get my hands on. They have Kirk, which I've had for a while now, out of the package. You got Krug with his little Klingon Targ there. Got Scotty and Spock, of course. And there's a picture of all four of them together. The details on Krug are interesting. Like I said, I did get these a while ago, just at Wonderfest, literally like 2 weeks ago. I got the whole set. I got Krug, I got Scotty, I got Spock. These are all in the package. These were a collection that a woman was selling because her dad died and he left all of his collection to her, so she was selling it. There's Kirk in the package. I do have a Kirk up there. That's in the package, but out of the package because it's opened. And I also managed to find all of the ships as well, which is great. So there's the Enterprise. It's just the blister pack is yellowed. The ship is not yellow itself, but there's the Enterprise, the Klingon Bird of Prey, and the Excelsior. So ignore the sounds of life happening in my house. I apologize. So no, these I've been looking for a while, and it was cool to find the complete set, so I'm really happy to get these. But they are kind of weird. There's the complete set there of Star Trek 3 stuff. They did rebrand some stuff as Star Trek 5. And the history with the Star Trek toys is quite interesting. The motion picture they made toys for, the movie kind of bombed. Well, it didn't bomb, but wasn't exciting enough for kids to buy action figures, so they didn't make any for Star Trek 2. Star Trek 2 performed super well, so they thought, okay, we'll make toys again for Star Trek 3. The Star Trek 3 toys underperformed, but they are these guys in the Monster Maroons, which look pretty great, actually. So they are kind of cool, and they're G.I. Joe sized as well. So, and then of course Star Trek 4, because the Star Trek 3 toys underperformed, Star Trek 4 they decided not to make toys. Star Trek 4 performed really well, so they decided to make toys for Star Trek 5. And Star Trek 5, well, we all know the story about Star Trek 5. So it's really weird. But anyway, yeah. Moving on to TNG. These would be in the 80s here, or early 90s. These are the Galoob action figures. Quite a wide variety of the main cast from season 1. These, I don't have any of these actually. The only one I do have is this die-cast metal Enterprise. I've actually got 2 of these that saucer separates. This is actually a very cool little toy, and I played with it quite extensively as a kid. I do like my Enterprises and my ships. This one was fantastic. Now these figures also came with some vehicles as well. The Ferengi did have a small little Ferengi Marauder. It was actually a Ferengi fighter, not really a Marauder. The Ferengi were supposed to be the big bads of TNG. Didn't quite work out that way, but there you go. It's actually a cool little fighter toy. Got some aliens in there as well. The Antikin, and Q, of course. But the main cast, you've got the Romulan, which is actually Mark Alamo there. Alamio? Anyway, Gold Ducat on the package there. And the detail on the Romulan is actually pretty good. But you got the Sile as well. They had some good aliens for this line for the first wave, which, you know, season 1 of TNG, that was a pretty memorable episode, so that was kind of neat. Wish there would have been more waves in this series, but again, not sure what happened exactly with the Galoob toys. However, they kind of went the way of the dinosaur. Got a phaser, which I have seen a few times in my adventures, but never actually acquired one or played with one. But it is a nice little hand phaser weapon, excuse me. They also had a shuttlecraft Galileo, which is the kind of the uglier of the shuttle designs. But the shuttle toy itself is actually quite cool. You got a bunch of different panels and stuff there, as you can see from the top, and the big gull wing doors that slide up or fold up, I guess. The inside, you got a little bit of detail, but the box itself actually says, well, it's called the Captain's Armed Auxiliary Ship. It's got gull wing hatches open for boarding, pop-up sensor unit, slide-out phaser cannons, that's interesting, and carries 6 Star Trek Next Generation action figures. Now, looking at this picture, you had 2 in the front, 4 crammed in the back. Sure, that works for me, I guess. It also has that back door that comes down. So, anyway, I don't have any of these Galoob toys. I wouldn't mind getting a few of them. I think they're kind of cool. And again, they're a smaller scale like the Ertl ones. Next up is the Star Trek 5 figures. Not the Ertl ones. These ones are by Galoob, but these are basically just static action figure displays. So it's not really an action figure, I guess. It's a statue, more like. And these are all limited edition ones. But there you got Kirk in one of his action poses, and he's got his nice tactical outfit on. These would be kind of neat to have, honestly. A few of them on the shelf would be nice, but again, not really action figures, not really toys, more for collectors. And, you know, Star Trek 5 was Star Trek 5, so that being said, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm not a huge hater of Star Trek 5 like a lot of people. We've also got Commander Claw, the Klingon, with his disruptor weapon, and again, he looks kind of cool. Close up, he's wearing a lot of makeup, but hey, that's alright. There he is in the box, again with that limited edition sticker. And there he is with his diorama display. They all come with like a back piece. So there you've got, looks like Vasquez rocks. But we got Spock there with the shuttlecraft behind him as his display, and he's holding a tricorder, again with the tactical gear on. Would have been cool if, you know, some of these figures maybe had the Monster Maroons on, would have been nice, but there's Spock in the box. And of course we have Sybok. Sybok there is in the box. He doesn't, I guess it does look like Sybok, but not really. This pose where he's got his fist clenched kind of looks like belongs from a Lord of the Rings line or something. He just looks like a strange elf or dwarf of some kind. But there he is with his display with Paradise Lost behind him there on Nimbus 3. And of course in the box. Next up is an older one. This is the Star Trek Interspace Communicators. These are kind of like, you know, when you get a paper cup and you punch a hole in it and tie a string to it and, you know, talk through the cup to your buddy who's like 20 feet away with the other end of the string. That's what these are, but don't look like anything from the show. But again, this was, you know, when TOS was on, so this is in the late 60s, and interesting packaging. The earpiece is reminiscent of Uhura's earpiece, which I actually have one here, so it kind of looks like, you know, Spock's got it up to his ear like that. But you know, speaking into it, they look more like alien communicators of some kind, but they are kind of neat actually. But just having a string, I don't know. That's old school tech. There you see them in the box with the string that comes with. Does it say how long the string is? I don't think it does. Next up is the Star Trek Tricorder. Now this one I wouldn't mind getting a hold of. It's basically a tape deck with a fold-up screen with some sticker displays on it, and it's a tape recorder. But it does resemble a tricorder enough. It's got the good shape. Wish it wasn't blue, but a lot of their stuff was blue back then. And this is again made by Mego, so of course their tricorders and stuff for their figures were blue as well as their phasers and stuff. So this kind of it kind of tracks to look like this. But this is kind of neat. I wouldn't actually mind getting my hands on one of these. Does look quite cool. So next up is the Star Trek Utility Belt. It comes with a belt, a phaser, a communicator, and a tricorder. Not super screen accurate. I mean, the phaser is probably the worst, the most egregious of these as far as not being screen accurate. The tricorder looks kind of cool. The communicator is also neat. But, you know, these were kind of a thing back in the day. There you see an Uhura Diamond Select figure with them for scale. But there it is in the box. Utility belts. I mean, it's kind of neat. But like I said, these back in the day were kind of a thing. Because here's a page advertising it. You got the Star Trek belt on the top, and then Space 1999 in the middle, and then a Batman utility belt down at the bottom there. So this was also remade somewhat for the 2009 JJ film. Here's the new one, the Kelvin-verse version. Basically the same thing. You got a holster for your tricorder and your phaser, and you've also got the belt buckle with the delta. And this looks a little bit better. The phaser is at least screen accurate. So is the communicator. But I mean, it's Star Trek 2009. But it was a good idea to kind of bring that back. It does come with the tricorder as well, as you can see there. So there you go, guys. There's a few more little things that I dug up from the archives of weird Star Trek stuff. If you guys had any of this stuff, please comment down below what you had, whether you enjoyed it, if you still have it. Like I said, I'm kind of looking for that Mego tricorder and a few other of these little things. So if you have anything, let me know, or let me know where I can look to find them. And I'm so glad that I finally got a hold of these Ertl Star Trek 3 figures, all in package, which is awesome. And I just wish the blister cards weren't as yellowed as they were, because that ship is a nice gleaming white under there. And do I want to open them? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted about that a little bit. So, but anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on these, and if you have any other suggestions for other ones I can include in future videos, by all means, please let me know. I would be very willing to try that out and do another video like this. Like I said, if you haven't watched the first part, go back and check that out as well. I would really appreciate that. And in the meantime, hit like. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels, the Captain Foley personal channel, which is this one, and the Trekyards channel, which is our main channel. And then check out, I'll put up the Weird Star Trek Toys Part 1 right up here. So check that out as well. Until then, guys, we'll say goodbye.